Are we talking about characters again, Daddy?
Yes, son. Yes, we are. We've talked about the different character types, explained what a protagonist and deuteragonist are. We talked about what an antagonist is and asked if we actually need one to tell the story. This week, I want to talk about a phenomenon that I find interesting. Stories where the title character is not the protagonist. Now, a protagonist, if you will recall, is the main character in a work of fiction. They're the person or people that the story is about. And a lot of the time, if a name appears in the title, it's because it's that character's story. Batman, When Harry Met Sally, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Hamlet, Die Hard. The character's name is right there. It's got to be their story, right? But that isn't always the case. There are a lot of examples of stories where the character's name may appear in the title, but that doesn't mean the story is about them. Now, I'm not talking about stories where the title is the villain or a monster that the hero has to defeat, things like Dracula or Goldfinger. I'm talking about examples where, if you look at it from the outside, you would expect the person whose name is in the title to be the main character. You'd think they're the ones that you're going to follow, and then it turns out they're not. This is by no means a new phenomenon. Let's look back at Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Now, in most of Shakespeare's tragedies, the title character is the protagonist. Macbeth, Othello, Romeo and Juliet. But Caesar is a tragedy and a history play, and the histories don't always follow this rule. The play is about the assassination of Julius Caesar, sure, but that assassination happens at the beginning of Act 3 of a 5-act play. Kind of like how Alfred Hitchcock made you think that Janet Leigh was the main character of Psycho before he got rid of her halfway through. No. The real protagonist is Caesar's friend Brutus, who is coerced into participating in the unaliving of his friend. The fallout of that event is what leads to the play's downer ending. Et tu, Brute? Then, way on the other side of the spectrum, is Pixar's movie Finding Nemo. This movie is about a child who is abducted and his father's desperate race to try to find him. Sure, they're fish, but that's beside the point. Nemo, if you're one of the 3 people who hasn't seen it, is the name of the child who was abducted at the beginning of the movie. But the story really fathers his father, Marlin. It's Marlin who goes on an epic quest. Marlin who has the character arc of trying to learn to let go of this son that he's been suffocating his entire life. This is reportedly a case of an artifact title, by the way. Supposedly in early drafts, Nemo had a much bigger part of the screen time, but through Pixar's many revisions, the story changed to focus mostly on the dad. Because let's face it, dads are heroes. Steven Spielberg's classic E.T. the Extraterrestrial is about a boy who befriends an alien that has been stranded on Earth. E.T. is the title character, but the story and the development really belong to Elliot here. At the end of the movie, when E.T. leaves, you're not joyful because you get to go home as if you were relating to E.T. You're sad because Elliot is losing his friend. Now, all of these are cases where the title character may not be the protagonist, but they're inarguably vital to the story. Caesar, Nemo, E.T., without them, Brutus, Marlin, and Elliot have no stories to tell. They're major supporting characters, if not full-on deuteragonists. But what about stories where the title character is way less relevant? Think about Kevin Smith's movie Chasing Amy from 1997. It sounds like your typical rom-com title, and I guess the movie is technically a romantic comedy, but it's not like most of the other ones of the era. The movie is about a cartoonist. Named Amy? No, Holden McNeil, played by Ben Affleck. Now, Holden is a cartoonist who falls in love with a woman named Amy? No, Alyssa. Pay attention. Alyssa Jones is played by Joey Lauren Adams, and the movie is about her and Holden's relationship, their struggles, their very different lifestyles, and this weird sort of emotional tug of war that happens between Alyssa and Holden's best friend, Amy? Banky. Like the artist? Some of his earlier work, I guess. But anyway, the title character never even appears in the movie. She's only mentioned in one scene. In this one, Kevin Smith's Silent Bob character is comparing Holden's situation with something that he personally went through, in which he was chasing a girl named Amy. Oh. Why did I even let you into this class? Anyway, Amy is only mentioned in that one scene. Her story is reflective of the main story, but she's not a part of it. It would be relatively easy to change that scene entirely and get rid of every mention of Amy, and the movie wouldn't suffer very much. What I'm getting at is, just like you can't judge a book by its cover, you can't necessarily judge the importance of a character by their placement in the title. Just because your name is up top does not always mean it's your story. Have any more examples? Drop them in the comments. This is usually where I try to make some sort of pithy comment relating the theme of the video to my own books, but I haven't actually written any books where the characters' names appear in the title, so just buy them.